Say next chapter, record and run tests. See, first we discussed roadmap for our program, UFT test process. As per our roadmap, first phase planning. In real time, first phase planning. But in our training program, we will discuss planning phase at the end of the program. Why? After discussing all concepts only you can cope up for planning phase. But in real time, first planning, then generating tests, next executing tests, etc. See, route UFT test process, UFT test process. Under UFT test process, first phase planning. We will discuss planning at the end of the program. Next phase. What is the next phase, Sampath? After planning, what is the next phase? Sampath. Sampath, you try to use proper headphones. You tell me, Kanti, what is the next phase? Generating
basic tests.
Good. Can you hear me, Sampath, at least? Okay. Generating basic tests. Okay. Under generating basic tests, some chapters. First chapter, record and run. Record and run tests. Next, keyword driven methodology, generating tests manually using shared object repositories. Before that, some prerequisites, some basics required. For record and run tests, no basics required. Simple. But for creating tests manually, some basics required. What are the basics? Small chapter, objects. See, types of objects. Types of objects in UFT test automation. UFT test automation. Next, object repository. Object repository. Next, keyword driven methodology. Before keyword driven, one more prerequisites, one more basic concept. Prerequisites for generating tests manually. Next, keyword driven methodology. Don't confuse. Keyword driven framework is different. Keyword driven methodology is different. Next, types of statements. Types of statements in UFT test. See, we use different types of statements in order to create UFT tests. not only single type of statements. Types of statements, or you can say steps. Next, descriptive programming. First, static descriptive programming. Next, dynamic descriptive programming. Next, test methods. See, example, set, click, close, activate, etc. These test methods are common for all types of test design. See, these are the chapters in generating basic test phase. Come to record and run tests. Record and run. Tests, or you can say test scripts. Test or test script. Say in UFT, test or test script. Manual testing, we use test case term. In Selenium, test case only. And you can use test script term also in Selenium. In Selenium, test case or test script. In UFT, no test case term. Equivalent term is test or test script. Okay, first chapter index. What is recording? What is test recording? Next, what is test run? Test run or test execution, synonyms. Next, types of record modes. Types of record modes. See, first we have 4 record modes. First 2 record modes important. Most of the time, if we use recording for test design, 99% we use first record mode only, normal record mode only. Remaining modes rare use or no use. Second mode, okay, rare use. Third and fourth, very rare. See, normal recording. Normal recording. Next, analog recording. Next, low level recording. Next, insight recording. See, this insight recording mode not available in QTP last version, QTP 11, added in UFT. Next, advantages of recording. Next, disadvantages of recording. Okay, this is the chapter index. Say first, what is test recording? What is test recording? See, Say record and run commands available in record menu. Otherwise you can use a record toolbar. Otherwise you can use shortcut keys also. Say first record. Record means normal recording. Just a minute. It is new test. It is new test. Launch object repository. Resources menu. Object repository. No objects information. Only headings. Test objects, checkpoints and output objects. No objects. Why? It is new test. Record. Click OK. Record means normal recording. Normal recording is default mode. Okay. First select the login dialog, means activate the login dialog. Next enter agent name, any 4-digit value. Enter password, password fixed, Mercury. Click OK button. Stop recording. Observe. See, during test recording, UFT generated steps for every user action on AUT, simultaneously stored objects information into object repository. Say. Now tell me what is test recording. Say test recording. During test recording, what is test recording process? During test recording, UFT generates steps for every user action on AUT, simultaneously stores objects information into object repository. Here, two tasks by UFT. Here, user task is navigating the application. UFT tasks generating steps for every action, simultaneously storing object information into object repository. See, during test recording, UFT generates steps for every user action on AUT, simultaneously every user action on AUT and stores objects information into object repository. See, this is test recording process. Can you tell me, Sujata, what is test recording?
Yes, sir. Test recording is like the normal recording is default mode, but during test recording, UFT generates steps for every user action on AUT and simultaneously stores object information into the object repository.
Good. Next, test run or test execution. See, test run or execution. See, select run command, record run menu, run, otherwise here icon is there, run. See, executing. Just a minute. Before that, observe in this login dialog box, how many software objects are there? Forget about this flight. This flight is static object. It doesn't have any functionality. No functionality. Remaining all objects are having functionality. Suppose agent name, entering input. It is accepting input. OK button, submission, cancel, help. Observe Kanti, how many software objects are there in this login dialog box? Forget about flight, except flight image.
6.
How many?
6.
6. Okay. What are they?
Login, agent.
Okay.
Cancel and help.
Good. Login dialog box. That is parent object. Next, 5 childs. 2 edit boxes, 3 buttons. Observe, open object repository. Here, how many objects stored, Sujata?
4, sir.
4 objects. But in our login dialog, 6 objects are there. Why it stored only 4 objects?
Because we are using only 4 objects.
Yes, we performed operations on those 4 objects only. We didn't operate cancel and help buttons. Okay. Next, come to mainstream. Test run. What is test run? During test run or test execution, UFT reads steps one by one and gets objects information from object repository. Using that information, performs operations on AUT. See once again. During test run, or you can say execution, test execution, UFT reads steps or statements, steps one by one and gets objects information from object repository, say, using that information performs operations on AUT. Okay, now Aarti, tell me what is test run process?
It is a process of generating, During execution, UFT reads statements one by one and gets object information from object repository. Based on that information, performs the operations on UAT.
Good.
AUT, sorry.
AUT, application under test. Okay. Say, just a minute. Dim A equal to 100. If A greater than 100, then display MSG box. A is a big number. See here, total 9 statements. 9 statements are 9 steps. Run. See, login operation, and it is displaying A is a big number. See, for first 2 steps and last 3 steps, no object reference required. For middle 4 steps only, objects information. Why? Can you tell me, Sujata?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand my question? Here, how many steps are there?
3 steps.
Total, how many steps are there in this test?
2, 1, 2, 3.
Here, number
9
also
steps.
there, na?
Oh, yes, sir. 9 steps.
9 steps. But for first 2 steps and for last 3 steps, first 2 steps and for last 3 steps, no objects reference required. Why? See, these 5 statements belongs to VB script and no
Yes, sir.
object call. Here observe third statement. This is test object statement. Object call. Fourth statement, object call. Fifth, object call. Sixth, object call. But first 2 statements, VB script statements. Last 3 statements, VB script statements. And just a minute. System util dot run. It is utility statement. Next, path of the application. Path of the application. See, for this third statement, system util dot run, no object reference required. Why? It is utility statement. Utility objects are built in UFT. Observe. It launched. Did you understand the concept, Kanti? Only for object call statements, objects information required, isn't it? For database connections or VB script statements or other statements, utility statements, etc., no object reference required, na? Any confusion? Say yes or no. You tell me, Sujata.
Yes, sir.
Object reference only for object reference only for test object statement. What is test object? We will discuss in next chapter. Or object calls. Test object statement, object call synonyms. Object calls, not for other type of statements, steps or statements. Okay, Narthi? Test recording and test run.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Sujata, any confusion?
Can you repeat that once again, sir?
Which one?
What are the statements?
What are the
statements that we are working on? Like, what are the test object steps and
observe 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the test object statement. Here object is there na?
Yes, sir.
First operation, activate operation on login dialog box. Second operation, enter a value into edit box. Edit box is child of login dialog. Whenever you want to perform operation on child object, you need to write parent child hierarchy. Next, password object. Next, last operation, click operation on OK. See, for these are object calls or test object statements or steps. Object calls or test object statements. For these statements only object information required. For other statements, VB script statements, utility statements, object reference not required. Got the point?
Yes,
what are the other type of statements that we will discuss in this chapter, selected chapter? Types of statements or steps in UFT. See, in UFT test, we use nearly 8 to 10 type of statements. Not only test object statements, but important statements are test object statements. Got the point? Any confusion?
Yes. No, sir.
Okay, cool. See, next, recording mode. All of you familiar with test recording and test run. Next, come to record modes. We have 4 record modes. Anyhow, first recording mode only important, remaining rare use or no use. If we use, generally recording is less usage in real time. If we use recording for test design, most of the time we use normal recording mode only. Okay, first normal recording. Normal recording. What is normal recording? See, what is normal recording? What we did earlier, that is normal recording only. What we did earlier, that was normal recording only. See, normal recording. Record click OK. This is normal recording. What is normal recording? UFT generates steps for user mouse and keyboard operations on AUT. See, normal recording. It generates steps for user mouse and keyboard. It generates steps for user mouse and keyboard operations on AUT. It generates steps for user mouse and keyboard operations on AUT. Otherwise, or it generates steps for user. User means tester. Context sensitive operations on AUT. What is context sensitive operation? Independent operation. For every operation, break is there. Observe. Activate the dialog. One operation. Independent operation. Next, break. Next, enter agent name. Next, third operation. Enter password. Last operation. Click OK button. All are independent operations. No continuous operations. Suppose digital signature is continuous mouse operation. See. Normal recording. And one more thing. Test run process. You know test run process. During test execution, it reads statements one by one. Statements are steps one by one, and performs and takes object information from object repository if it is object call statement. See, it reads steps. It reads steps one by one and takes object information from object repository. Using that information, performs operations on AUT. Okay. Suppose instructions, nothing but steps. Instructions available in UFT tool editor, but one of the object information not available. Suppose remove this OK button. Instructions, nothing but steps available in UFT tool editor, but one or some objects information not available. What will happen? It will show error. Definitely it will show error. See error. The OK win button object was not found in the object repository. So UFT unable to recognize that OK button. Next, another scenario. Suppose OK button available. Next, one more extra object information. See, in our test, 4 statements, we performed operations on 4 objects, but in this object repository, 5 objects information available. If I run this script, what will happen? Sujata, earlier scenario, instructions available, some objects information missing. This time, extra objects information in object repository, no corresponding statement for cancel button in UFT tool editor. No statement for cancel button in UFT tool editor. Extra object information. Then what will happen if I run this script? Will it execute or not?
It will show an error, sir.
No. It won't show any error. Why? First it reads first statement. Take the object information. Check object repository. Login information available. Next, second, agent name, agent information available. Next, third, password, password information available. UFT can recognize. Next, OK button, OK button information available. UFT can recognize. Next, cancel button. Forget about cancel button. Here, no instruction, so no need to observe for that object. See, just run. It will execute. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
No error. Just a minute. Under this test run process, scenario 1, first scenario, instructions, nothing but steps available in UFT editor, but some objects, information not available in object repository. If we run the test, it will show error. Next, extra scenario 2, some extra objects information available in object repository. Then it will execute. No issue. If you store unnecessary objects, test execution performance will be reduced, but no other issues. Test will execute. Okay, normal recording, it generates steps for user mouse and keyboard operations on AUT. Okay, next, one drawback is there. It is unable to record. It is unable to record continuous mouse operations. It is unable to record user continuous mouse operations. Example, digital signatures, etc. It is unable to record user continuous mouse operations. Next, it is default mode of UFT. It is UFT tool default recording mode. See, these 3 points important. See, once again, normal recording generates steps for user mouse and keyboard operations on AUT. Next, another definition. It generates steps for user context sensitive operations on AUT. Context sensitive operation means independent operation, individual operation. Okay. Next, one drawback. It is unable to record user continuous mouse and continuous mouse operations. It is unable to record user continuous mouse operations. Next, it is default mode of UFT. Why it is default mode? Observe. Record. Observe, Kanti. What about analog recording, low level recording and insight recording modes? They are in disabled state na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Means without selecting normal recording mode, we can't switch to other modes. See, after selecting normal recording mode only, we can switch to other modes. That's why normal recording mode is default recording mode. Okay, now Madhuri, tell me why normal recording mode is UFT tool default recording mode?
Because going for other recordings, we can't, only the default recording mode is enabled. The other recording modes are disabled.
Okay,
only
forget about enabled or disabled. Without selecting normal recording mode, we can't switch to other modes. We can't use other modes. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
See, default recording mode. See, without selecting normal recording mode, we can't use other modes. Okay. Tell me, Kanti, 3 points we discussed regarding this normal recording mode. What is normal recording mode? Drawback and one more point.
It's a normal recording mode means it generates steps for user mouse and keyboard operations on AUT. Otherwise, another definition is it generates steps for user context sensitive operations on AUT.
Next.
Drawback is it is unable to record user continuous mouse operations.
Okay. Next.
The default mode of UFT tool is recording. Recording mode is default.
Default record mode is normal recording.
Normal recording.
Okay.
Without selecting normal recording mode, we cannot switch to
other modes.
Analog
or low level, all other modes. Without selecting, we can't switch to other modes. Okay. Next, observe here 2 options available. Take new test. Record. Here first environments. Suppose here we selected web add-in Windows applications. That VB add-in, ActiveX add-in also Windows based applications. See, we selected 3 add-ins in our add-in manager. One is one add-in is built-in add-in, that is standard Windows. But here it is showing 2 environments. Why it is showing 2 environments? ActiveX add-in, standard Windows add-in, next Visual Basic add-in. These 3 belongs to Windows applications environment only. Next web add-in, web environment. If you select Java add-in, here it shows Java environment. Okay. See, we will discuss web environment later. First, Windows applications. For Windows applications, we have 2 options. Record and run test on any open Windows based application. See, two options. Record and run test on any open Windows based applications. Say, two record options in normal recording mode. One is record and run test on any open Windows based application. Record and run test on any opened Windows based application. Next, second option, record and run only on particular application. Record and run only on. What is the difference between these two options? Say if you select first option, it records on any open Windows based application. Suppose mistakenly if you click on any other application, it records that statement also. If you select second option, then you can provide the path of the application, then it launches that application. It records statements only for selected application, only on selected application, and it ignores other applications. Find the difference, Madhuri. If you select first option, what will happen?
It records all the applications, all the statements in the...
See, UFT records steps on any Windows based application, any Windows based application on desktop, any Windows based. Suppose mistakenly if you click on any other application, it will record those statements also. Next, if you select second option, record and run only on, see, it records steps on selected application only, and it ignores other applications. You can select multiple applications also, but most of the time single application is enough. Say I will show the example. Actually, when you install UFT, a default option is second option only. I changed the option, but default option is second only. Okay, first option. Observe. Just a minute. Suppose my application is a flight reservation. Record, first option, enter agent name, enter password, observe Kanti, it record on two applications na. Some statements on paint application also na. See, playback also same. It will execute all applications based on that recording. Run. Over. Next, second option. I'm taking the new test. Record. Now already path set, otherwise you can set the path, that flight reservation executable file path. Okay. See, it launching that application, generating steps on that application. Next, operate the paint window. Observe Sujata, we operated paint window also, but it didn't record any, generate any operation on paint window na?
Yes, sir. It did not.
Only selected. Execution also only selected. Just a minute. Oh, every time it is launching na. Run. Executing. Okay. Next, one drawback we discussed. Drawback. It is unable to record user continuous mouse operations. It records, but execution time it won't play back properly. Record. Suppose first option. Not generating, just activated. Not generating any statements. Observe Kanti, unable to record continuous mouse operations na.
Yes, sir.
Activating the paint window is context sensitive operation, normal operation. Okay. This is about normal recording. Next, come to second record mode, analog recording. Analog recording. See. First record mode, normal recording. Second one, analog recording. What is analog recording? It records user operations on. It records user operations on AUT. What type of operations? Context sensitive operations and continuous mouse operations. See. It records user operations on AUT. It records user operations on AUT based on XY coordinates. Observe normal recording. It generates steps or it records steps for user mouse and keyboard operations on AUT based on objects. Here also same, based on objects. Based on objects. But analog recording mode based on XY coordinates. Either XY coordinates, either desktop or application window. Either desktop or application window. User can select the option. Tell me, Madhuri, what is analog recording mode?
It is a recording mode in which user operations on AUT are based on XY coordinates
of either desktop or
of either desktop or application
window. See, find the difference, Sujata. Normal recording mode based on objects. Analog recording mode based on XY coordinates of either desktop or application window. See, it records user operations on AUT based on XY coordinates of either desktop or application window. Next, it can record normal operations also, means context sensitive operations also. Then you can ask one question. Suppose if analog recording mode is suitable for generating normal operations and analog operations, means continuous mouse operations, then why normal recording mode? Okay, it can generate normal operations also apart from continuous mouse operations, but drawback is there. Generally for normal operations we use a normal recording mode only. A reason I will explain. First, drawbacks of this mode. Drawbacks. First drawback, it occupies more memory than normal recording. So test execution performance will be reduced. Next, that is simple one, performance issue but no errors. But important thing is it doesn't generate steps for every user action on AUT. It generates all actions in a track file. The track file is not visible, so tests are not readable as well as editable. See, it generates all user actions in a track file the file is not readable and editable. If any modifications are there, re-recording is the only solution. That's why we don't use this mode for normal operations. We use this mode for only continuous mouse operations. Okay, observe. See, first select normal recording mode. Next switch to analog recording. Here it is showing two options. One is record relative to the screen. Screen means desktop. Second option, record relative to the following window. If you select first option, then it records based on desktop XY coordinates. If you select second option, then it records based on if you select second option, we have to show the application window, then it records based on application window coordinates. First I am selecting record relative to the screen. Start analog recording. Activate the paint window. Observe, Sujata, is it generating any statements?
No, sir.
It is the drawback of one of the drawback of analog mode. It doesn't generate statements for every action. It records all actions in a track file. The track file not visible, so script is not readable and editable. Put base state. Base state means required state for running the test. This is base state from where we started the test execution. Run. Observe. Observe, Kanti. Playing back na?
Yes, sir.
Next, again put base state. Move the window and run the test. Observe the mouse pointer. Observe, Madhuri. What happened, Madhuri?
The statement is recorded, sir.
Statement recorded. Aarti, what happened?
It didn't generate anything there.
It didn't perform any operation on this
operations
on this paint window, na?
Paint in the paint window, yeah.
Why? What is the reason? We recorded that script based on desktop XY coordinates. Then we moved that window. That's why it is not operating that application window. Okay, na Sujata? Did you observe that one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, take new test. Second option. Second option. Record. Next, select analog recording mode. Second option, record relative to the following window. Show the window. Start analog recording. It doesn't generate steps for all user actions. It doesn't generate steps for every user action on AUT. it generates all steps in a track file. Put base state, run the script. See, playing back. Okay. Okay, Narthi.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Next, move the window. Okay, we recorded that script based on application window. It can recognize the window and based on that window XY coordinate, it performs operations. Run. Okay. Next, normal operations. See, record. Activate the just a minute. Record. Next, switch to analog recording. Activate the dialog box. Enter agent name. Enter password. Click OK button. Stop recording. Only single statement. But it can play back. Run. Open object repository. Only login. No other child objects. But we can't use this mode for normal recording mode. Why? What is the reason? Can you tell me, Sujata?
It is based on XY coordinates analog. So
Description confusing. My question is, analog recording mode can generate normal steps also, but we can't use this mode for normal operations. Why? Kanti.
Because it stores in track file concept. It generates steps in based on track file where you cannot again it will be not in readable format.
Okay, you know the concept, but explanation not in proper manner. Tell me, Aarti.
Maybe you can't perform the continuous mouse operation. Maybe that's the reason.
No, invalid.
So it generates all user actions on track files. The file is not readable and editable.
Okay. Say, observe. Analog. Analog recording mode. Analog recording mode can generate steps for normal operations or normal actions also. Otherwise, you can say normal operations or context sensitive. operations also, but we can't use this mode for normal operations. Why? It doesn't we can't use this mode for normal operations. Why? It doesn't generate steps for every user action on AUT. It generates all actions in a track file the file is not readable, otherwise you can say test is not readable, test script is not readable, as well as editable. So we can't use this mode for normal operations. Okay na, Sujata? Any confusion?
No, sir.
Okay. Next, third mode, third one, low level recording. Low level recording. Low level recording. What is low level recording? Rare use or no use? What is low level recording? It generates some operations on non-supported environments. Say, it records some operations on non-supported environments. What is non-supported environment? Suppose in our application one Java object is there, we have Java add-in, that time that is supported environment only. Suppose we don't have Java add-in, that time non-supported environment. Suppose we have Java object in our application, but we don't have Java add-in, that time non-supported environment. It records some operations on non-supported environment. What are the some operations? They didn't specify. It is trial and error feature. It may record, may not record. Suppose if it can record all operations on non-supported environments, then no use of add-ins. No use of add-ins. It is trial and error feature. It may record, may not record. Whenever any object is not recognized by normal recording mode, that time you try with low level recording mode. It may record, may not record. And it can record normal operations also. But we can't use this mode for normal operations. Reason, two reasons. One is it occupies more memory than normal recording, so execution performance will be reduced. Second one, script is not readable. Script is not readable. See, it takes more memory than normal recording. Next, test script is not readable. These are the drawbacks. Observe. Taking the new test. First, select record. First, normal record. Enter agent name. Enter password. Click OK button. Stop recording. Next, analog recording. See, normal recorded test versus low level recording test. Low level recording test. Normal test script versus low level recorded test script. Low level recording. It can play back. See, normal recorded script comment, only low level recorded script. Run. Executing. Observe. Low level recording script, it considers all objects in two categories only. Into two categories. See, it considers generic objects. Means all objects in two categories only. Either window or win object. If it is parent object, window. If it is child object, win object. No classification. Win button, win edit box, win radio button, etc. It considers generic objects, all objects into two categories only, either window or win object. Observe. Window, win object. See, agent name win object. Button, OK button also win object. And it takes XY coordinates for some objects if required. Say, script, first script, observe. Normal recorded script versus low level recorded script. Tell me, Aarti, what is the difference? Low level recorded script not readable na?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Why? It considers all objects in two categories only, either window or win object. If it is normal recording script, see, win edit, win button, win edit, win radio button, win combo box, like classification. Okay na Sujata, any confusion?
No, sir.
Just a minute. Click on Gmail link. See, this is normal script. We performed operation on link object. Link is child of page. Page is child of browser. Already we discussed. If you want to perform any operation on child object, parent-child hierarchy required. Here browser is parent, page is child, link is subchild. Okay. If it is a low-level recording, record observe parent. If it is parent window, child win object only, no link like classification. Tell me Kanti, what is low level recording mode and drawbacks?
It records some operations on non-supportive environments. Disadvantages, it takes more memory than normal recording, and the test is not in a readable format. It considers as generic objects. All the objects are considered as generic objects into two categories, either window or win objects.
Okay. Then what is the advantage of low level recording? It may record some operations on non-supported environment. Trial and error. No guarantee. Next, fourth one. Insight recording. It is also same. It records. It is extension of low level recording. A extension of low level recording. Functionality same. It records some operations on non-supported environments. Same, it occupies more memory than normal recording. See, it records some operations on non-supported environments and it captures object images also. Same, it occupies more memory than normal recording. Observe. Record, insight recording, activate the dialog box, enter agent name, enter password, click OK button. Stop. Observe Aarti. It captured images na.